So ALGO has surged by over 21%, and you can see that I have been tracking a WXY structure, where in my previous video I mentioned how I was looking for ALGO to tap into this region between 15.34 cents to 15.94 cents. And here you can see that we ended up tapping into that region where the local low sits at 15.8 cents. And since then, we have seen that pump to the upside where it's possible that the Y wave is complete. And then we see a retracement to the downside followed by a final push to the upside. And so what I'll do is check to see if this Y wave met the typical requirements. And that Y wave would typically retrace anywhere between 1 to 1.226. And here you can actually see that we extended beyond that level. And it's possible that we actually reached the 1.618 retracement level. And so, yeah, here we ended up reaching 18.49 cents, and the 1.618 retracement level is at 18.47 cents. So we extended beyond that level. And so, yeah, it looks like rather than this WXY structure forming, instead what we had was a 5-wave move. And so it's actually possible that within this wave count, I actually miscalculated what took place, where I was actually tracking a WXY structure, where instead we probably had a 5-wave move that I wasn't aware of. And so that's something that I'm going to dig into once I upload this video. And yeah, it looks like what we have is a 5-wave move as opposed to a WXY structure. And so if I remove this, and remove this, and remove this, essentially what ended up playing out was this being a wave 1, and then we had a wave 2, a wave 3, and then we could potentially be within wave 4 right now. And then we see a final push to the upside to complete that 5th wave. And then we see a retracement to the downside followed by a final push to the upside, where we could even breach the 20-cent mark. And so what I'll do is, so yeah, this move does look to be impulsive. And here could have a potential ending diagonal, where that would be the 4th wave, and then this would be the 5th wave. And so by drawing the trend line from here to here, and then from the 4th wave to over here. And then so yeah, within this 5th wave, it does look like we still had a 5-wave move, where this is a wave 1, this was wave 2, and then we had a wave 3, 4, and 5. And then that then completed the 5th wave. So that 5th wave would have reached, yeah, 18.49 cents. So if I go on the 5-minute chart, just so it's more clearer for you guys. So within this 3rd wave, essentially what took place was a 5-wave move, where what we had form was this being a wave 1, and then we had a short wave 2, followed by our wave 3, which ended up reaching the local top at 18.10, and then we had a wave 4, and this was the wave 5. And so if I just bring that to where it's supposed to be, which is over here at 17.7 cents. And so yeah, we had a 5-wave move within the 3rd wave, and then this 5th wave was then made up of a ending diagonal, also made up of 5 waves, and that then completed the 3rd wave. And here we are now in a retracement to the downside to complete the 4th wave, which is typically a 23.6% to 50% retracement of the wave 3. So if I bring the fib tool and go back to the hourly chart instead, and so ALGO could reach anywhere between 17.09 cents to 17.82 cents, and so we have tapped into that region. And so yeah, it's possible that we could go deeper and maybe find support at the 200 DMA and then see that pump to the upside to complete the 5th wave. And then we see that retracement to the downside, where that retracement would be a 50 to 18.2% retracement of this wave structure. And then we see a final push to the upside, where we could then potentially see the local top at 18.49 cents get broken. And yeah, we see that deeper move towards that 20 cent mark. And so yeah, that's something that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. I'm just checking to see if there's no other wave structure that's actually in play right now. So within this fourth wave, what I do is check to see what's actually taking place, where what we could have is a double XY structure. So yeah, that Y wave would typically retrace anywhere between 1 to 1.226 of the W wave. And so it will be interesting to see if, yeah, so since this low, or this high rather, at 70.98 cents got broken, it's possible that the Y wave actually extended beyond the 1.226 retracement level. But the fact that we failed to reach the 1.618 retracement level tells me that this is a corrective move to the downside as opposed to a impulsive move. And so if this was an impulsive move, it would be invalid given that this low at 70.96 was broken, where we ended up reaching this region here. And so, yeah, this tells me essentially that this is a corrective move to the downside, and then we could potentially see a further move to the upside, where we then reach past this local top. And so, yeah, we could still see a deeper move, where we could potentially find support at the 200 DMA, and then we see that pump to the upside. And if I remove this, what we need is for ALGO to not breach past this level at 16.22 cents. And if that's the case, then it's possible that this move to the upside is actually complete, and then we see that retracement to the downside followed by a final push to the upside. And reason being is because within a 5-wave move, again, what you can't have is the wave 4 crossing the wave 1 or the wave 2 origin. So essentially what we need is to see another push to the upside followed by a retracement and then a final push to the upside. And so yeah, that's just my update on ALGO. Hopefully you found it useful, and if you did, then feel free to hit that like button, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.